beep, 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 beep. Jeez. Those damn noise sounds. I usually turn the button sounds off on my phone.
I usually don't have the sound on my phone, but I had my phone on the charger downstairs while I was watching the Big Flower Fight or whatever, the Great Flower Fight.
What's that?
It's this show on Netflix.
The Great Flower Fight. It's like flower designers or some shit.
Yes, Brandi. It's like, honestly, it is so good. They're artists, they're sculptors, they're landscape designers, and they erect like the most beautiful, works of art. And, they have access to these amazing flowers and grasses and mosses and bark. And they just, like, seriously created amazing things. They use a lot of recycled material and, things of that nature. And I really want to create something in my backyard, like a sculpture or something. Mm-hmm. A living work of art.
How was your week, Sunni?
How was my week? Kendall had to do a school assignment, and it was like a PowerPoint presentation, if you will, she had to pick a state. So she picked California, and so it's 11 questions, and she has to answer the questions on the slides and like decorate the slides. And she's had this for a week.
Decorate them.
Do some color and some art or, whatever. It's a presentation.
Mm-hmm. Like a PowerPoint slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, all right. She started working it on Monday, and it took all freaking week to get it done. 11 questions.
Why?
Because she doesn't know how to use Google. I don't understand. Like, she should...
No, she does. Because she knows how to Google for, like, images that she wants to use as her freaking wallpaper.
Right, but she doesn't know how to get, like, she asked me a question. I was like, I don't know. Ask Google. Google this. Google that. And so she said, oh, okay. So
she doesn't know how to click links.
Yeah, because she'll just read the highlight. Mm-hmm. And she won't go in. So I was like, okay, well, click this and read this article. Read this story. Mm. And so I was like, what did you gather from the story? And she's like, the this and the that. I was like, I read that with you. What else? There's more. And so it was just very difficult.
Yeah.
She got it done, and then I emailed her teacher because I went into the Aries portal and I was looking at her grades, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And so I emailed her teacher, and I was like, hey, I see there's missing assignments, and, this grade's this and this grade's that, and, is she still able to turn these assignments in? Are they due? I don't know what's going on here, blah, blah, blah. And she doesn't even answer my fucking question. She responds to... I'm still grading. That didn't answer my concerns as to, is my child going to fail? Should I be concerned? Can things still be turned in? I understand you're still grading, but these are questions I've asked you. And she just... Ugh.
Yeah.
She was like, well, I sent 2 emails. The first email I sent off too fast, and I just sent pictures of the grades, and I didn't say anything, and I sent that off too fast, and then, she responded with a can I call you? And then the other email I sent off with my questions and those images, and I was like, hey, I sent that other email off too fast, so sorry. Mm-hmm. And then that's the one she was like, oh, I'm still grading, and didn't respond to my questions and my concerns, and she didn't call me. So I'm just like, what the fuck?
Lady, you're not telling me shit.
You're not telling me shit. Kendall's missing her promotion to middle school. They tried to do a drive-through fucking graduation. They shut that shit down. Kendall could care less, though. She doesn't care. She's just like, blah, 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 blah. How was your week?
My week.
Did you find any more mice?
No. No more mouses. But I don't even know. I swear to God, this week, flew by. Went to the Dollar Tree. That was fun. With Mom and Kendall, we went to the Dollar Tree. There was that, and I think that's the most memorable thing that I did all week, to be perfectly honest. I have not been able to get anything done, constructively. I haven't worked on my jewelry this week at all.
What's going on?
And I just, I'm feeling super fucking unmotivated to do anything.
Did you amuse?
No, I just need to... I feel like I want to leave my house like, I want to leave there and just, like, go somewhere else.
Do you want to go to Kern River?
What?
To go camping? Kern River?
Are they even letting people go to Kern? Because, like, in Cal City, they have the camping and the, like, the, ATV thingy out there, Borax Bills, and that's fucking closed until further notice.
Okay.
So, like, people can't even camp. Like, I mean, and I think people have been going out there because I've been seeing, people with their fucking, their RVs and shit going out there, but they're not supposed to be out there. And you need a permit to ride. So, I don't know what the fuck they're doing out there, but people are still going out there, but it's closed. Like, there's a big lighted sign at the light that says, no camping or riding until further notice. Mm-hmm. So people are going out there and doing shit they're not supposed to be doing, I think. That's
so you're feeling uninspired.
I don't know.
Are you at a wall? Are you just like burnt out?
I don't know.
Pissed off?
I have no idea. I'm just like, ugh, I don't know. I just feel lethargic. I don't want to do shit, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I want to do stuff, but then like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this in 5 minutes. And then it's an hour later or 2 hours later, and I'm like, I can't fucking get my ass up to do this thing. I'm just like, ugh, I don't know what it is. I think it's just like a fucking malaise. I'm just not feeling up to anything. I hear all the psychologists listening going, that sounds like depression.
And it very well could be a tiny taste of it. I mean, who knows? We all go through shit. It's still fucking rough out there, man. Like, shit's changed. And, people are still stuck indoors. There's uncertainty. And everything is just so grim and so bleak online. And we try and stay away from it. But it weighs on us. And if you feel like you want to get stuff done, but you can't, or there's something or a barrier that's blocking you, you kind of have to figure out what that is before you can overcome it.
I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get up. I'm going to take this outside. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull weeds. And then, like, the day is gone, and I'm like, maybe tomorrow.
So you have a plan to do these things. Me, like, when I go out in the garden, I just go out there and I just let it happen. I'm just like, okay, let me go over here. Let me go over there. And I just feel like I have to get up and get it done when I'm outside and it's cool, or it won't happen because it's too hot to water things later in the day. And in the middle of the day, I'm tired. I like you, Brandi. Like when Jamal left with the kids this morning at like 8:40, I was like, oh my gosh, I have all this time to clean my house and to clean the table. And I sat my ass on the couch and watched Netflix. And I was like, cook yourself some food. Like, do something for yourself, bitch. And so I made myself some eggs. And I watched TV and gave myself some me time. And I was okay with not doing anything.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't fucking... I don't know why. I can't. I just feel unfucking, like, motivated. And then, like... I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then not be able to go back to sleep. And then I'll fall back asleep, like, at like 7 or 8 o'clock. And then I won't wake up again until 1. And it's just like a fucking fucked up ass cycle that's happening right now. Maybe I should set my alarm. I don't want to set my alarm because even if I do set it and I'm waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to want to get up at 5 o'clock. So, I don't know.
I haven't used an alarm clock in years, honey. No, I'm just kidding. But, no, I don't like alarm clocks.
Yeah.
I like this ring you have on.
Mom gave me this for my birthday a few years ago, and I never wore it. And then Gracie had it in her room, because it was in the ring box, and she was playing with it. I had to get it out of her room, and the box was gross, so I was like, let me just put this ring on.
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
throw away this box.
I saw it on your ring, on your finger last night, and I was like, ooh, that's fancy. All right, so... do you have anything in mind to try and help you get motivated? Are you listening to some motivational podcasts? Those always help.
No. I haven't listened to any motivational podcasts. I listen to the same podcast that I usually listen to.
Well, one thing that I've been trying to do for almost 3 years was paint my master bedroom, and I finally did it. I could scratch that off of my honey-do list, and I was just like, yes. And I listened to podcasts while I was doing it. So shout out to real business owners, Kale and Trevor. It's Trevor. They get me fired up,
Do they?
They really do. They're just like, hey man, this happens, but you got to get the fuck over it. And they just are real about things.
Get the fuck over it.
Fuck over it. They're just real about things, and the topics that they talk about are they're important, even if you have your own business or you don't, or you're in a certain industry. They just keep it 100. I love it. Who else did I also listen to? I listened to Indoors Women. They were talking about the Keanu Reeves 2 episodes.
What are we talking about?
I'm just telling you what podcast I was listening to while I was painting my room. It just kind of kept me motivated.
I'm like, what are you? What? Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves, the fuck are you talking about? It's all good. Anyway, but that's what I did. But I did get my room painted. So just because you can't be motivated this week doesn't mean that...
I'm still, because I'm still trying to get this fucking spring line done. And I was like, every day I'm like, okay, I need to work on these fucking jewelry pieces. And then I'm like, but I'll figure it out. I wanted to have it done by tomorrow, but that's not fucking gonna happen unless I stay up all fucking night, and that's not gonna happen. So
we'll see what happens.
June 1st, at least.
We'll see what happens. All right. Well, hey, I'm Sunni Hepburn,
and I'm Brandi Fleeks,
and this is
Book of Lies, the
podcast.
Yeah, it's Bolt Bitches.
It's Bolt Bitches. Welcome to the podcast. If this is your new episode, well, this is our new episode. If this is your first episode, welcome. Thank you for pressing play, and thank you for giving us a try. And to all of our listeners, hey y'all, thank y'all for coming back. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for sharing us. We wouldn't be here without you. You know what I mean. Bolt bitches. If you aren't already, connect with us on social. You can connect with us on Twitter at Book of Lies Pod. You can connect with us on Facebook and or Instagram at Book of Lies Podcast. Or you can visit our website at Book of Lies. You can visit our website at www.bookofliespodcast, where you could listen to previous episodes. You can connect with us on social, or you could visit us on Patreon.
What the hell?
Where we would love for you to meet us there and give us a little support there too. So, Brandi, what are we talking about?
There have been a bunch of podcasts that talked about this already. They talked about the whole thing. I'm not going to discuss the entire case. I'm going to discuss one person involved in this case. Because the story has been told in fact and fiction. It has they did a mini-series about it, and then they did a TV movie about it. So today we're going to discuss the weird-ass case of Dee Dee Blanchard. Clauddine Dee Dee Blanchard. The mother of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And if you don't know who she is, stick around, because it's going to get fucking weird. Dee Dee Blanchard was born Clauddine Pitre in Chack Bay, Louisiana. Her people are Cajun. They're Cajuns. Their accents, though, I love them so much. The Cajun accent, for some reason, is one that I dig a lot.
Here we go, Sharon.
It's near the Gulf Coast. She was born in 1967 and grew up with her family in nearby Golden Meadow. She was the daughter of Claude Anthony Pitre Sr. and Emma Louise Gisclair. And she has had 5 siblings. Claude Jr., Claudia Evans, which is a weird name, Dorla, and Todd. Evans could be actually the name of a catfisher, like Williams on 90 Day Fiancé.
A catfisher?
Because his name is Williams. That's not a name. Like, Evans, your name is Evans, not Evan. But yeah, so his name is Evans. During her childhood, her family members basically were saying she used to do shit like petty theft. She was a shoplifter. She was just not a good person. But her dad, he admits to spoiling her. He said he basically gave her everything to, and he said when she was little, he said he didn't want any dogs. And though he's like, I told him no dog, we ain't getting no dog, and then we end up with 2 dogs in the house.
2 dogs in the house.
2 dogs in the house. Yeah, he said he basically gave her whatever she wanted. She worked as a nurse's aide at some point in her life. And they suspected her, basically, like, her mom passed away in 1997. And they suspected that she killed her mother.
What?
They suspected that she basically starved her mother to death. Her mom, I guess, was sick and bedridden. And she wouldn't give her food. And, like, wouldn't clean her up, you know.
What?
So they believed that she killed her mom.
That's fucked up.
They couldn't prove it. Unless they, had her body exhumed, I guess. I don't know. But they started to suspect that she did it. She starved her mom to death, killed her. When she was 22, she won the South Laforge ROTC Military Queen title in a pageant.
Ooh, Mrs. Laforge.
Miss South Laforge ROTC Military Queen. I'm like, that sounds like a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
And she met Rod Blanchard when she was 24 and he was 17. They messed around. He knocked her up.
7 years. Senior.
He knocked her up. They got married. And he said, being from the South, you do the right thing. If you get a girl pregnant, you marry her, right? So at 17, he married a 24-year-old woman.
That is so wrong on so many different levels. Like, that is so wrong.
Yeah, and
it's so wrong.
Yeah,
that's statutory rape.
It's Louisiana. And so he said on his 18th birthday, he said he woke up and he was like, "What the hell am I doing here?" She had a little baby girl, called her Gypsy Rose because Clauddine liked the name Gypsy, and Rod was a fan of Guns N' Roses. Let's see, she was born in July 1991. He ended up leaving. He was like, we got married for the wrong reasons, so he left. But he stayed in her life. He remained in Gypsy's life. Clauddine tried to keep him, but of course he was fucking 18 years old. He doesn't want to be married.
Okay.
So he left. She took her daughter to live with her family. So her family members fucking were not fans of her at all. Rod, her husband at the time, or, her ex-husband, he described her as getting into some darkness. He said she talked a lot about witchcraft, and she had a pet tarantula.
The fuck?
Like, she was, an oddball. Her nephew, Bobby, says Dee Dee was a weird girl. He said she was a weird girl.
She was weird.
He believed that she was bipolar or had multiple personalities. I was like, I love how he's diagnosing her. This guy's like a welder. He's like, oh no, she's definitely bipolar.
She definitely bipolar.
Got some multiple personalities.
That's funny.
But she's definitely an evil person. So he describes her as definitely evil. He said she opened up fucking credit cards in his dad's name, who was her brother, and in his grandfather's name, ran up crazy bills, and he said she was supposedly America's Most Wanted was looking for this girl.
Oh my God.
I love the way he talks. And her stepmother describes her as a filthy person.
Oh my God.
So she's a filthy person.
A filthy person?
Filthy person. And if things didn't go her way, she would see to it that you pay. And did we pay? Paid a lot.
Oh my. And
apparently she had been poisoning her stepmother. Dee Dee was poisoning her, fucking feeding her Roundup weed killer in her food.
The fuck does that?
She spent 9 months stuck in bed because Dee Dee was fucking poisoning her. And her, Dee Dee's dad was like, he didn't think that his wife was going to make it because she was fucking laid up in bed being fed fucking Roundup by Dee Dee, apparently.
Why are they trusting her to feed anybody or to care for anybody? Like, if you can't trust...
Mm-hmm. They said if she if she had set foot back on the bayou, that she would have been arrested immediately because she was wanted for writing bad checks. She was wanted in Slidell, and she was wanted in New Orleans for writing bad checks. So fucking people were after her.
Okay.
Not people, but the law was after her for her bullshit. Yeah. Dee Dee, as soon as around, I guess, 3 months old, as soon as Gypsy was about 3 months old, Dee Dee started telling people that she has sleep apnea.
That Dee Dee does?
That Gypsy has sleep apnea. And she needed to go to the hospital to have sleep studies done. Mm-hmm. And tests and stuff. But she went to the hospital. They did do the tests. They did sleep monitoring tests on her, and they were like, no, she doesn't fucking have sleep apnea. There's nothing wrong with her. Mm-hmm. But she also told Rod that that Gypsy had an unspecified chromosomal disorder. So she's just basically making up diagnoses right now for Gypsy, right, while Gypsy's a baby.
That's fucked up.
When Gypsy was about 7 or 8.
I'm sorry, just to kind of go back really quick. What did you watch, or were you getting all this information from and hearing these Cajun accents?
So this Mommy Dead and Dares, the HBO documentary, okay, and also Wikipedia, of course, and then there's a bunch of freaking articles online that I was just like clicking through. I didn't write them down.
I didn't write them down.
I didn't copy and paste the links, unfortunately.
Cite your sources.
But that's the main one was Mommy, Dad, and Dares. So when Gypsy was like 7 or 8, she apparently she was riding on the back of her grandpa's motorcycle, and they they had a little tiny accident, and she had a scrape on her knee. Dee Dee's like, oh my God, that's an injury. You're gonna have a bunch of surgeries for this stripe on your knee. And they were already making she was already making Gypsy use a walker at this time because of her unspecified chromosomal disorder. And so now she was like, nope, you have to be in a wheelchair. So she made her sit in a wheelchair.
Get in a wheelchair.
So she put her in a wheelchair basically around 7 or 8 years old.
This poor girl, this poor child, like,
yeah,
you're growing up with this person who is your mother, your caretaker, the person that is like supposed to, be your champion, and she's making up all kinds of shit and telling you this and making you believe that, and that's fucked up.
Making her undergo all kinds of tests, taking her to random doctors. So, she often she would take her to the Special Olympics. They would go to Special Olympics events. And Dee Dee was claiming that Gypsy was 8 when she was actually 10 years old. She was named Gypsy was named honorary queen of of Mid-City, which is a child-oriented parade held during Mardi Gras in New Orleans. So she already aged her. Yeah, she aged her down. So she's 10 years old, and Dee Dee's like, well, she's 8. She's 8, but she's 10. And you know how like some parents will do that? They'll like to get your kid into the movie for cheap, like
Disneyland.
You're 12. But you're right today. You're 11 or you're 10 or whatever, because it's usually 12 and up is a higher price.
It's a little white lie.
Yeah, but this one is a big fucking lie. And then so she pulled Gypsy out of school and started homeschooling her. Mm-hmm. And she told Gypsy that she was so sick, and oftentimes she would tell her you're mentally retarded. So she would, tell people that she was slow and
Making her believe
mentally that she was younger than her actual age. So Dee Dee was claiming that Gypsy was 2 years younger than she was, but then she would claim that mentally she was even younger than that.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
She was pulling this off around, all kinds of people, because Gypsy had a lot of people coming in and out of her life because, they wanted to, help her, they wanted to, be around her. So she got all kinds of, support and sympathy. And so, people didn't question Dee Dee about what, about Gypsy's status, and Gypsy, didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. So she was just pulling off all kinds of bullshit ass fucking lies. Basically, Gypsy had to teach herself how to read by reading Harry Potter books, because fucking Dee Dee wasn't really homeschooling her.
She was keeping her ignorant. She was trying to keep her,
And if you go to school, people ask questions.
And if you can read, you can
Yeah. Okay, so Dee Dee took Gypsy. They moved back in with, her parents. That's when she started feeding her stepmother the Roundup.
Why is she...
She was arrested, for shoplifting. She was arrested for writing bad checks. And her parents started freaking to confront her about how she was treating Gypsy. Because they were, Gypsy seemed fine to everybody. They already knew she could walk, and then you put her in a wheelchair, and now you're telling people that she can't walk.
Yeah.
So
what the fuck are you doing?
Your parents are gonna be like, well, why is she in a wheelchair now? Like, she was walking just fine.
What'd you do?
You had her on a walker for no fucking reason. Now she's in a wheelchair. Okay. When she got arrested, her stepmother fucking got better.
What do you know?
Yeah.
The dark cloud over the house was you, bitch.
Yep. So they moved to Slidell, and Gypsy and she lived in public housing. She was on public assistance, but the only reason that she was on public assistance was because she was claiming that Gypsy was disabled. Mm-hmm. And Rod, of course, was paying child support, but again, she spent most of their time taking Gypsy from doctor to doctor, trying to, taking her to specialists. She had Gypsy treated for all kinds of bullshit, like hearing and vision problems. She had fucking vision procedures done. She had them do a muscle biopsy on Gypsy because she was claiming that Gypsy had muscular dystrophy. Multiple doctors did fucking tests on Gypsy, and they found that no, she doesn't have muscular dystrophy. Her fucking muscles are fine. They're, well developed. If she had muscular dystrophy, she would have no muscle tone, no freaking... Basically, her muscles would have wasted away.
Right.
She managed somehow to fucking get people to treat her for these conditions that she was claiming that Gypsy had, but there were no actual diagnoses of any of these conditions.
Mm-hmm. That just tells you there's a bunch of fucking doctors that aren't doing their due diligence and just doing fucking shit.
Well, unfortunately, okay, so we'll get to that. We'll get there. She also told doctors that Gypsy was having seizures every few months, so they just prescribed anti-seizure medication.
Hey there, I'm Tara.
And I'm Jessica, and together we co-host the podcast 3 Spooked Girls.
If you love the paranormal
or murder,
join us on Mondays for full-length episodes where we discuss our favorite paranormal stories and true crime cases.
And join us again on Thursdays for our mini-sodes called Stabby Snippets, where we tell you all about true crimes happening in the news.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever the hell else you listen to your pods at. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by using the handle @3SpookedGirls.
Come and hang out with us and get your spooky on while we scare the hell out of you.
Didn't do a fucking, any monitoring. No, she took her to neurologists. She took her to cardiologists. She took her to fucking you know, multiple specialists. And every time she took her to a specialist, she would change the family history of illness. So, like, you know how when you go to the doctor and they ask you, you know, any family history of blah, blah, blah on
Breast
your mom's
cancer,
side, your dad's side. Right.
that.
So at the cardiologist, she would say there's a family history of heart attacks.
Yeah.
At the neurologist, she would say there's a family history of seizures. At the endocrinologist, there's a family history of diabetes or of thyroid problems.
Making shit up everywhere she goes.
Basically every specialist she went to, the family history consisted of whatever that specialist treats.
Wow.
Yeah. She's an asshole. Fucking, they did a bunch of surgeries on her. This just frustrates the fuck out of me. They did a bunch of surgeries on Gypsy, and fucking Dee Dee would take Gypsy to the ER for a bunch of different fucking made up shit. She concocted stories and you know, subjected her daughter to unnecessary medical treatment. And then after Hurricane Katrina in 2005, they moved to fucking Missouri.
Misery.
Mm-hmm. They moved to Missouri. There was you know what happened. Big ass fucking flood. So lots of documents were destroyed.
Oh.
And they're like, why don't you move to Missouri? And so they ended up airlifting them, Gypsy and fucking Dee Dee, to Missouri.
From Hurricane Katrina? Like during the situation, or?
No, they had to move there. Okay, so their apartment was basically destroyed by the hurricane. So they had to relocate. Well, there was a doctor that fucking she was seeing from the Ozarks and suggested that they move to Missouri, where this doctor was from, I guess. Mm-hmm. And they managed to get her airlifted to Missouri because I guess they didn't have any type of transportation to get there. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, if you're going to airlift me there, fuck yeah.
Well, you know, according to Dee Dee, Gypsy has all these ailments, so, you know, I have to have special transportation for her because she's sick and she has, you know, she can't walk and she's mentally disabled and she, you know, needs all of these medical equipment. So, okay, all the fake illnesses that Gypsy was supposed to have, according to Dee Dee: asthma, muscular dystrophy, sleep apnea, leukemia, epilepsy, hearing and visual impairments. She had a GI tube inserted into her so she could be fucking tube fed.
Oh my god.
That she was mentally disabled, that she had GI reflux, quadriplegia, which is dumb because she's not quadriplegic. If she's moving her arms and flailing her arms around, that's paraplegic. Anemia, allergies, incontinence, lung disease, and a heart murmur. She has this on a list. And look at this list, okay? I have the list. Look at the fucking list.
Look, Linda.
Look at the list. Just hold on. And tell me if you see anything weird.
Gypsy Rose's diagnoses. Epilepsy. Is that how you spell epilepsy?
Nope.
Okay. Vision impaired. Mm-hmm. Hearing impaired. GI reflux. Quadriplegia. It's all spelled wrong.
Everything is, like, not everything.
Hypoventilation. Allergies. That's mild mental retardation. She could spell that. Leukemia.
Everything is misspelled. Okay, so we've got epilepsy. That's misspelled. Impaired. That's misspelled. Quadriplegia. That's misspelled. This says muscular dystrophy. So muscular is misspelled. Hypoventilation is misspelled.
Yep.
Allergies is misspelled. Retardation, that's misspelled. Incontinence, that's misspelled. Heart murmur.
Yeah,
Murmur is misspelled, okay?
Too many M's.
Too many M's. This is the closet of meds that she was giving to Gypsy.
Can you send that to me, please? Oh my God, that is so sad.
All of 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 shelves. The top shelf has some blankets. What looks like I don't know. But look at all of these medications.
Sad.
Ludens. There's some cough drops there. These are all prescription freaking syrups. Pill bottles on the bottom. Who knows what? These look like fucking. I don't even know. Yeah, she's fucking gross. Okay, so. Needless to say...
Do we know why she's doing all this?
Experts suspect that she has Munchausen by proxy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. On Gypsy Rose's 18th birthday, Rod called her to wish her happy birthday. And Dee Dee said, don't tell her she's 18. Rod's like, what the hell you mean? Don't tell her she's 18. She's 18 years old. I called her to wish her happy birthday for her 18th birthday. Don't tell her she's 18. She doesn't know she's 18. Rod's like, what? So she tells Rod, she's just so sick and she's not mentally able to understand that she's 18. She thinks she's younger than 18. She thinks she's 15. I think it was 15. He didn't say happy 18th birthday to his daughter.
He just said happy birthday.
I guess. That list of misspellings was what she provided to the doctors when she went to see them. Now, as a doctor, I'm going to look at this list and be like, ma'am, lots of these are misspelled, and guess what? I have so many issues with this list, just because, number one, if she was smart, she would have fucking Googled the shit and learned how to spell it correctly. Number two, the doctors should have been like, why are these misspelled? If she has diagnosed, if she has paperwork that is, and again, she was telling the doctors that all of her medical records had been destroyed in the flood. But again, Google will tell you how to spell something, right? So she, she had Gypsy on a sleep apnea machine, so she would have to have a sleep, a face mask and,
a breathing machine.
Right. And she had her, an NG tube placed in her stomach. And why would they perform this fucking procedure? I don't understand. She shaved Gypsy's head to make her look like she was being treated for cancer. And she just told her, well, it's going to fall out anyway. We might as well make it look nice and neat. And Dee Dee even had her own head shaved in solidarity with Gypsy.
Well, it's going to fall out anyway. Might as well keep it neat. That Cajun accent.
She would take Gypsy to the doctor's appointments, and she would give Gypsy a Barbie doll, and she'd be like, be calm, stay in your chair and play with your doll and don't move your legs. So that's what Gypsy was told to do when they went to the doctor's office.
To look like a small child, like a... Mm-hmm. Don't move your legs. Play with your baby. Be quiet. That's sad. That's so fucked up.
She changed doctors often.
Which is a red flag.
Mm-hmm. And she changed the family illness of what, to fit the type of doctor that she went to. Family history of illnesses to fit the doctor that they went to. She, at least one doctor, or at least two doctors, I should say,
questioned.
Yes. They questioned her enough for her to switch doctors. But one doctor in his notes wrote down, mother is not a good historian. Which means that, because all of this stuff she's telling the doctors, she doesn't have any actual paperwork from doctors with actual diagnoses. So you're bringing your child to me telling me, well, she has this, and this. But you don't have her medical records. Not most people, but a lot of people have files and files and files of their children's, or, if they have a chronic illness, of their medical records.
Right.
They keep them as freaking proof of treatments, of, what to do in case of this, or, they have a fucking stack of shit. Right. She had nothing except that piece of paper with all those misspelled diagnoses on it.
Yeah.
One doctor wrote that in his notes that while she was giving him the family history or the medical history, she covered she covered Gypsy's ears while she was telling her that she was mentally disabled. So, like, the doctor, questioned that, like, why would she need to cover this child's ears and to tell me that she has a mental retardation or whatever it is. That was suspicious.
Yeah.
Did he fucking, like, call anybody? No.
No.
They talked to one doctor, and he said that the doctor was like, in his own notes, it's likely that mother has Munchausen by proxy.
Oh.
He wrote it in his notes, did nothing to follow up. Didn't call freaking
CPS.
Yeah, didn't call family services, social services, did nothing. Nobody, all these people, these medical professionals suspected Dee Dee of abusing freaking Gypsy, but nobody fucking called CPS. There was an anonymous call to the police that, who knows who made the call. Somebody called the police on suspicion of abuse. The police knock on the door. Dee Dee manages somehow to fucking charm them into, basically leaving. So she shows them a couple of documents that she fucking obviously made up, and telling them that she's slow, she's got this and that and this and that. They take her for her word and they leave.
Yeah. Because Gypsy probably just sat there and didn't say shit. Sit there and play with your doll.
Yeah, basically. They had, family, or not family friends, but they had, like, Gypsy and Dee Dee had made friends with, like, their neighbors. And, like, they had a neighbor that would come over and she would hang out with Gypsy. Or, she would come out to talk to Gypsy or whatever, just to be nice. And she said Dee Dee would never leave her side. She would never leave her alone with Gypsy. She was always holding her hand, like she would like squeeze her hand, don't say this, or, that type of thing.
That's fucked up.
It was
like, can your mom go away?
Really weird, She also, she inflicted, these fucking operations on Gypsy. She had she had eye procedures, like I said, GI operations. She had her fucking salivary glands removed. She had her teeth pulled.
That's so fucked up.
She had told Rod that Gypsy wouldn't live to be 18 years old. And so, she was basically telling him, well, all her systems are underdeveloped because she's got all these conditions and she's got this chromosomal disorder that basically she, she's not growing the way she's supposed to. So, yeah, they stayed at the Ronald McDonald House. They fucking got free trips to Disneyland. They got a free house from fucking Habitat for Humanity. They built them a house.
I was wondering about that, yeah.
They got money from charities. So, Dee Dee didn't work, obviously. Dee Dee fucking lived off of the money that she was getting for Gypsy, claiming that Gypsy had all these fucking issues.
Right.
She would hit Gypsy with hangers. She would slap her. Like, Gypsy said that Dee Dee, like, depending on whatever the infraction was, Dee Dee would allot a certain number of slaps. So, like, say she talked back to her, she would slap her twice, or, she did something else, some sort of infraction, she would give her, like, 5 slaps. So, depending on whatever the infraction was how many times she would hit her with an open fist.
That's fucked up. With an open fist?
Yeah, she would slap her.
Open hand.
Gypsy tried to run away, and Dee Dee found her and dragged her back home. She smashed her computer and her cell phone and threatened to smash her fingers if she ever did it again.
Oh my gosh. She
handcuffed her daughter to the bed, and she had a lawyer. A lawyer. She had a lawyer draw up papers declaring that Gypsy was mentally incompetent. So if Gypsy would try to go to the police, she would be like, "Oh, you can't believe anything she says. She's a mental defect."
here's a document I had drawn up just to prove it.
Yep, basically.
Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm. So in 2015, Gypsy and this boyfriend that she met online, Goethe John, I forgot what his first name is, they killed her. They killed Dee Dee. They stabbed her to death, or he stabbed her to death, and they left. The neighbor found Dee Dee dead in the house. When her family found out that Dee Dee had died, her nephew said the first thing he thought was, who did he piss off now?
Oh my gosh.
He said he figured somebody would have killed her, and he thought it would be Gypsy, but he knew that somebody was going to probably kill her. Her stepmother didn't believe that she was actually dead. She said she thought it was another one of her tricks, and she didn't believe it. Dee Dee was cremated, and Gypsy, I guess, had the ashes. Or someone had the ashes, and
somebody had the
ashes. They were like, what do you want to do with this? He said, her dad said, flush that in the toilet. That's what he said.
Flush that in the toilet.
Flush that in the toilet.
That's fucked up.
Her sister Dorla said, flush that in the toilet. They were like, no, we don't want them. We don't want the ashes.
Oh my God.
Her family did not like her. Her family may have loved her, but they did not want anything to do with her.
I don't like you.
He said, people were like, oh, were you going to have a mass for her? They were like, no. Because, they're Catholics down there. They were like, no, we ain't doing that. So they never had a service for her. And as far as we know, her ashes were flushed.
That's fucked up. Jesus.
Yeah, it sucks. Gypsy and that Goethe John guy were, of course, arrested and convicted. Gypsy was convicted of second-degree murder, and she got 10 years because of, obviously, all the fucking circumstances surrounding the case and how, their history and all that stuff. They didn't feel like it was right to, give her life in prison or the death penalty because of all of the bullshit that fucking
her mom put her through.
Exactly.
Like, she mentally and physically abused her.
Basically.
She made her have all these procedures. They gave her drugs. She pretty much tried to brainwash her. What do you expect's gonna fucking happen?
She was supposed to have been 19 years old at the time. She was 22.
Poor thing.
Now, this is, okay, so Little Miss Gypsy Rose, 12? 17, 18. No, she's 17 or 18 years old right there.
And that's the mom?
That's the mom. That's Dee Dee. She's a large woman. But she was pretty. Actually, Gypsy looks almost just like her.
They have the same nose.
Look that's her. That's Dee Dee. That's them. Her dad is actually very cute. That very cute Cajun man. He's married, of course. And, well, anyway, this is what Gypsy Rose looks like now. Aww. They gave her some teeth. Aww. But she still has those fucking silver-ass fucking caps back there.
Yeah.
That Dee Dee inflicted on her.
Oh, beautiful girl.
She's eligible for parole in 2024.
Give her free. I mean, it's messed up what happened, but I mean,
yeah,
poor thing.
So, there's a show called The Act. That's the made-for-TV movie or whatever
on Hulu.
Yeah, I mean, not the movie, the series. That is the story of Dee Dee Blanchard and
that's fucked up.
The horrible abuse and lies that she inflicted on the world, on her daughter, what got her killed, basically.
I just wonder, like, what she thought. Like, if she just kept telling me that I'm small and I'm dumb, that I would believe that I'm small and dumb and 2 years old. You know what I'm saying?
2 years old.
You know, like, she stole 3 years of her life from her. She stole more than that from her.
She, tried to pretend. That's his name, Nicholas Goethe John. She did it for attention. She did it for the free gifts. Because the free shit that she got. She was getting money, so she wasn't fucking working. She was also probably attention seeking.
Yeah.
And they, believed that she had Munchausen by proxy. But she had much more than that because she was doing dirty shit before.
Lying and the check.
And fucking poisoning people, starving her mother to death if she did do that.
Oh my gosh.
So she was nasty.
Flush that down the toilet.
She was a nasty piece of work to begin with.
Flush that down the toilet.
And she had a baby that she could now inflict her fucking will on.
Yeah.
And that's what she did.
Flush that down the toilet.
Flush that in the toilet. So, damn.
Well, gosh darn it. All right. Well, Brandi, do you have a thumbs up for the week?
My thumbs up for the week is, again, I'm still trying to organize, even though I didn't do shit last week. That's what I was trying to do, was get my stuff organized. There's a couple of things that they didn't have at the store that I have to order from their website. So I'm going to do that just to be able to get all the organization that I'm trying to get done. I would like to build some shelves. I really want to do that. I just need to get some stuff to build shelves with. But I won't be working on shelves. And I still need to, I want to finish. So what did I say, June 1st? June 1st is the goal that I have set right now for my the spring line to be officially complete and available. And I have to take so many pictures. I built a light box, so hopefully that'll
have you used it yet?
Mm-mm. I haven't taken any pictures. So hopefully I can get my ass in gear this week, because honestly, I've just been like binging TV and watching stuff. I did watch season 2 of Dead to Me.
Okay, I haven't even watched. I watched like the first episode, and I really didn't get into it. And people raved about it, and I never really got into it.
You watched the first episode of the show, or
of the show?
Okay, I didn't finish season 2 yet. I started watching it.
Yeah, I mean season 1, episode 1.
Yeah, it's good. And then this season is interesting. So. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's weird. So anyway, what's your thumbs up for this week?
My thumbs up for the week is, if you plant it, it will grow.
Yeah.
So I've got zucchini growing.
Oh.
I got more pumpkin growing. That little baby tomato leaf that I rooted, and it was only a leaf outside for a while. Now it's branches and it's going to grow. I'm waiting for my first ripe tomato. The corn's good. It's just, if you plant it, it will grow.
Mm-hmm. Corn. Listen, you're children of the corn. Won't be in the cornfields. I mean, in the corn, talk about the corn told me to do it.
Well, I hope not.
Mm-hmm. The corn made me do it.
It's all good. My bed hasn't come yet, but like I said, I did paint my room. I'm very happy I finally fucking did that. I bought the Oops paint from Home Depot, so I paid
How many cans? Just one?
One can, $8. Usually that can would have cost $40. So I was just like, this looks like a good color.
I know, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just go and grab some Oops paint. I want to paint one of Gracie's walls pink. But they have, they painted this weird ass yellow color, that's what color the walls are. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this fucking weird ass yellow is just it's a drag. I need some fucking brightness.
Yeah.
It's not even a bright yellow. It's a fucking weird ass
mustard.
It's not even mustard. It's this dull yellow.
Well, I'm trying to get shit handled around this house. I'm looking forward to my mattress finally coming. And soon school will be out, and then I don't have to stress my daughter about homework.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. That will be really good. I mean, other than that, things are looking good, y'all. Things is looking good. How y'all doing? Did you enjoy the episode? If you did, leave us a review. Go ahead and go to your nearest podcatcher, Apple, Podchaser, Google, Spotify. Leave us a review, even on Stitcher. We love it. So please leave us a review and send us a screenshot, and then we'll send you a sticker because we love you guys so much. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you. And if this, again, is your first episode and you enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe and come on back because we've got more shit for you. So, hey, I am Sunni Hepburn.
And I'm Brandi Fleeks.
And this was Book of Lies. The podcast. The pizzle kizzle.
Yeah.
Toodles.